Life is about going for things. And when we do, rejection is always a possibility. Big or small, rejection affects us all. Rejection doesn't have to be about the big stuff. Everyday situations can lead to feelings of rejection, but it's impossible to avoid it altogether. In fact, you don't want to. People who become too afraid of rejection might hold back from going after something they want. Sure, they avoid rejection, but they are also 100% guaranteed to miss out on what they want but won't try for. How to cope? The better we get at dealing with rejection, the less it affects us. So how can you build that ability to cope? Here are some ideas. Be honest. Coping well with rejection involves working with two things: how you feel and what you think. If you get rejected, acknowledge it to yourself. Don't try to brush off the hurt or pretend it's not painful. Instead of thinking, "I shouldn't feel this way," think about how normal it is to feel like you do, given your situation. Notice how intense your feelings are. Did this rejection upset you a lot, or just a little? Cry if you want to, it's a natural way to release emotion. Be positive. When you're dealing with a painful emotion like rejection, it's easy to get caught up in the bad feeling, but dwelling on the negative stuff can feel like living the experience over and over again. Not only does it keep hurting, it becomes harder to get past the rejection. So admit how you feel but don't dwell on it. Examine your thought soundtrack. Consider how you're explaining the rejection to yourself. Are you being too hard on yourself? It's natural to wonder, why did this happen? When you give yourself an explanation, be careful to stick to the facts. If you start blaming yourself for the rejection or put yourself down, you can start believing you'll always be rejected. Thoughts like, "I'll never get a date," or "no one will ever like me," amplify a simple rejection to disaster level. Rejection can hurt a lot and can be terribly disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. Use rejection to your advantage. A rejection is a chance to consider if there are things we can work on. It's okay to think about whether there's room for improvement, or if your goals were higher than your skills. Sometimes a rejection is a harsh reality check, but if you approach it right, it could help nudge you in a direction that turns out to be the perfect fit for your talents, personality, and all the really great things that make you who you are.